Hey sippers, welcome to our show. While we're spilling, grab your cocktail and start sipping. Get ready to unwind with your girls.
Thank you for joining us for Cocktails and Conversations with your girls. I'm your girl, Miss Shay Marie, and these are my beautiful co-hosts.
Hey sippers, it's your girl Primp and Papa.
Hey everyone, I'm Shataz.
Hey sippers, it's your girl, Miss Jones to you.
We are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night at 8 p.m. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram at Cocktails and Conversation. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tonight, we are discussing mental health and the importance of self-care. We will also spill which celebrity is rumored to be opening his own place of worship. Remember, we want you all to chime in. So leave your comments below.
Tonight's featured cocktail is a specialty of mine. It's easy to make and it's my go-to drink. Primp's tea consists of Lipton Ice Tea, brown sugar, and as well as 2 ounces of Amaretto sour. Make sure to stir it thoroughly until it's nice and sweet. And voila, there you have it, Primp's tea. So let's try our Primp's tea. Yeah, stir it up a little.
Okay, so I like it. It's sweet. It's really sweet. I probably wouldn't have put sugar in it. Do you think it needed sugar?
I love brown sugar in my iced tea.
Okay, but it's really good. I love it.
I really like it. I just feel like I'm about to catch a heart attack.
Because it's too sweet?
Yeah.
I knew. So you guys, when you're making this, I didn't put any measurements because it's up to your discretion how sweet you want it, how sweet you like your tea. And that's why I like my tea sweet. So sorry, you guys. And usually I mix it with like a much stronger liquor, maybe Hennessy or Douce, so it cuts it.
Okay.
Yeah, so since the Serrano is
It's
sweet
sweet.
as well, it made it sweeter.
Okay. Okay. It's really good though.
Because I have diabetes in a cup.
Yeah.
You have like a droplet. A droplet.
I'm just playing sippers. It's actually, for the Prego sippers, it's actually really good. But just, I don't like, I just have iced tea. No Deserano. And you can't go wrong with Lipton Ice Tea. The awareness of mental illness is at an all-time high. Many celebrities came out and voiced their experience with this issue. Mental illness refers to a wide range of mental health conditions, disorders that affect your mood, thinking, and also your behavior. Examples of mental illness include depression, anxiety disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and addictive behaviors. Many people have mental health concerns from time to time. Ladies, have you ever suffered from this type of mental illness? And if so, how did you handle it?
Okay, so I have personally dealt with mental illness. I would say it started after I had my son. So like, what is it? Postpartum depression. It started with that. I never went to the doctor or anything. After I had my son, I went back to work after 3 months, and I just got back into my normal routine of working. And then at that point, I was a single mom with a newborn. And I noticed that I would sleep all the time, like all day. My house was a mess. You would think it was a junkyard in the house. It was clothes all over the floor, just everything. And I noticed that I was dealing with something when I would go to work. I wouldn't take a shower. I would just pick up clothes off the floor and put it on. And sometimes I wouldn't even brush my hair. Like I would go to work with my hair just sticking up like I just got out of the bed. And also I would always have chest pains and like panic attacks. So I went to a psychiatrist. I talked to the psychiatrist. I went multiple times. And then after he diagnosed me with general anxiety disorder and depression based on all of those symptoms. And he gave me a bunch of medication. Like, he gave me Xanax. He gave me like sleeping medication, like sleeping pills. He gave me like 3 different medications. I looked up the side effects of all of them, and the side effects and reviews were terrible. Like, people saying, like, I remember reading a review where it said the husband tried to burn down the family home because of the medication. When you try to wean yourself off, you have to wean yourself off with the help of the psychiatrist or a medical doctor, because if you just completely stop taking it, it gives you like hallucinations and different things like that. So after reading those reviews, I decided not to take any of the medication, but just continuing to see a psychologist. I started seeing a psychologist, talking to her, sorting through my issues, and just with prayer, lots of fasting. One thing I noticed is exercise really, really helps. It helps to just clear your mind and get your adrenaline flowing and like the good hormones. So that's how I coped with it, and that's how I cope with it to this day.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think that I was never diagnosed or anything, but I went through a real bad breakup, and every time I would think about the situation, I would like get like in this panic mode. Like, I felt like I was getting real anxious, like anxiety or whatever. And it just kept happening every time I thought about the situation. So how I cope with it, I actually, because the type of person I am, I like to hold things in and I don't talk about it. So like, I could be going through something and I'll just hold it in and deal with whatever I'm dealing with. But then I realized that holding it in was making it worse. So I started getting like real, like I started feeling crazy at one point. So, I would call my sister and talk to her, and she would like convince me to pray, meditate, because sometimes when you're going through stuff, you don't want to pray. It'd be so bad that it's like, you know what, God, I don't want to talk. I'm just going to deal with it. And that wasn't helping the situation. So I felt like I needed to talk to people. I needed to reach out to one of my pastors and pray. And the more that I opened up to people and let them know what I was going through, it helped me like calm down. And when I would think about the situation, I'll just start praying or meditating. Like, it really helped. I think the most important thing is to talk to people, because if you sit there and hold it in, you're only going to hurt yourself. You're only going to drive yourself crazy. So by me talking to people really helped me cope with the situation. So, I mean, I think I had anxiety. I was never diagnosed. I never went to see a psychiatrist, although I thought about it because it was that bad. Like, and I never thought I could go through something like this, because usually, you're hurt, people do things to you and you deal with it, you brush it off and say, you get over it. But this particular situation, I couldn't. It was so, I was being tormented by my own issues.
By your own thoughts.
Yeah. So, yeah, by me opening up, talking to people, it really helped me. And I'm in a better space now. And, I continue to keep yourself busy. I think that helps. Work out, like Shay say. I walk, I read. I try to stay busy. So that's how I cope.
So I dealt with something similar to Shataz. I went through a bad breakup, and I didn't know I was suffering from depression. I wasn't diagnosed, but I knew it was depression because I lost 40 pounds in less than a month. And I didn't notice because at that time I was trying to transition out of a certain situation, and I had a job, so I would just go to work and go home, and every time I would go home I would sleep. So and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll probably like go outside. Like, I live across the street from a park, so I would go outside sit on the bleachers and just cry. And so that was basically my life, crying and going to work. And I would try to read my Bible too, and that kind of helped me, but I was still dealing with it because I wasn't over the situation. And it got to the point where I didn't know I lost all the weight until I went to go see my cousin who was going through something. And I used to always wear big clothes, so I didn't notice I was losing the weight because the clothes were always so big. So it was hot in her room, and I remember this. And I was taking off my jacket. And mind you, I'm there to see her because she's going through something. When I took off my jacket, she started crying for me.
But you had the bony neck.
Yes.
Yeah,
and she was like,
that's how you know.
Yeah, and she was like, I never seen you like this. And we both just started crying. That's when I realized, like, oh, I need to tighten up. Like, maybe this is overtaking. Maybe I thought I was coping with it, but I wasn't. That was like my wake up call because I'm usually like the strong friend. So I don't even think my friends noticed how that situation affected me. And I kind of dealt with, I dated someone, I felt like he had mental illness. I don't know if it was mental illness or a bad reaction to drugs. When I tell you, I dated this guy, I would be asleep, and you know how you feel somebody watching you? I would wake up, and he's right over me.
Oh.
And I'll be like, what are you, like, you know how you wake up, you're like, kind of like, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then he's like, oh, so you really trying me like this? I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
I laugh at it now, but when I was going through it, you guys, it was, so, and then he flipped the bed.
Me too.
He flipped the bed while I was in it. No, it's funny, but
I'm
I'm laughing and I'm crying at the same time. And he flipped the bed while I was in it. He was like, oh, I heard you having sex with somebody else. I heard you having sex with somebody else. And mind you, I was asleep and I'm in his house. And he was like, where that nigga at? And I'm like, what nigga?
You were
I was like, what? And you know, you just wake up and you going through this like, oh my God, you guys. He ransacked the closet, took out all his clothes. I'm like, I'm in your house. And mind you, we went to sleep together, and he just happened to wake up, I don't know, and was starting to stare at me. And I'm like, so I just felt like that was some sort of mental illness, or I don't know if it was a bad reaction to drugs, but, and how I don't think I touched on how I cope with it. Well, I left that situation. I don't know how he coped with that, but for real. But how I cope with it, I just had, like I said, that was a wake-up call, and I just had to get myself better. I had to start taking care of myself, because what I noticed is sometimes when you love somebody, you get so lost in a relationship, or you get so lost in your emotions, and I feel like I cared about that person or loved that person more than I loved myself. So now it was time for me to draw back from those emotions and start working on me. So I started like telling myself I'm beautiful, because although I don't think I ever doubted that I was beautiful, but when you don't, how you allow people to treat you shows you how you value yourself. So the fact that I allow somebody to mistreat me, showed me that I didn't value myself. So I started to, get rid of the hurt by like trying to understand why would I stay in a situation that hurt me. So that's, the self-care thing really helps with mental illness, especially with depression, because it always stems from somewhere. So yeah, that situation took me on the edge, but I had to go deeper because it was something else. So I had to address that in order to get over that. So, yeah.
I've had a couple of depressing moments. Well, let me start off by saying this. I am so proud of the fact that we, as in Black women, we as in the Black community, have come so far that we're acknowledging mental health, because it's something that we have learned to just cope with. Like, we're just, what is that Teach Me song? Is it John Legend? Is it John Legend? Teach me how to... Music Soul Child. Music Soul Child has a song, and in the lyrics it says something as far as, he was always taught, like, you don't show emotions, you work hard to, like, stuff like that. And men don't really know how to express themselves, even when they're going through stuff. See, I was laughing at your situation, not necessarily laughing, just the way you said it was funny, but it made me think about that, because growing up, that's all you hear. Like, even little kids, when they fall, it's like, get up, you a boy. And it's like, okay, he is a boy, but he just fell and he hurt himself. So the tough love, even for women, black women, were, you know, especially in the Haitian culture, you know, something happened to you and it's like, "Mate femme sourde." That's like, put that woman on you, like, get it together. Like, okay, it happened, get it together. So it doesn't allow you to deal with those inner emotions that are driving you crazy. So I've had a couple of situations myself where I've gone through depression. And I think my worst one was, you know, when you trust someone so much and it's like you would never think this person would do something to hurt you. And if it does, or when it happens, it kind of cuts you so deep. You understand what I mean? So I went through that situation before and I just was I was in shock of how I was dealing with it, because mentally, as you stated, Shataz, it just plays, your mind plays games. Like, you literally are in battle with your thoughts. So I did seek a psychiatrist. I was, you know, I had, what is it, every 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, every month I was seeing someone. And that was one of the best things that I could have done for myself. Another coping mechanism, another mechanism that I use is I did yoga and exercising, like cardio, really hard, because at the end of the day, right when you finish working out, you know, you get a good meal, you start to look good, you start to feel good.
Yes.
I stated a lot of affirmations over my life too. I would have little post-it notes. I don't know if you guys, you know, one of my shows is Being Mary Jane. You know how Mary Jane? Yeah. So you have to, so Being Mary Jane, she actually put that in me. So I used to put little sticky notes everywhere, around the mirrors, around the refrigerator, just to remind myself of who I am. Because sometimes when these situations do happen, just as you stated, you forget who you are.
Yes.
So it's so important just to continue to remind yourself that, you know, you are this person. I am beautiful. I am smart. Yes, I made a mistake, but I will get through this. I am strong. So, you know, I had a lot of affirmations over my, around the house. And then, oh my gosh, a lot of prayer. When I mean a lot of prayer, I could just remember me one day, in my head, like I just was so lost, I just started screaming in the house. Like, you know, when you watch these movies, you be looking at people like, this girl crazy. Like, I was doing that, as I'm doing it, I'm looking at myself. I'm screaming, but I'm looking at myself like, what am I doing? I'm screaming, what am I? And then I had to just drop on my knees and start praying and like, God, like, my mind, like I feel like I'm losing my mind, like help me. So a lot of prayer through this process. So mental illness is really no joke. It's no joke. It really isn't. So I'm glad that we're definitely bringing awareness to it. I want to ask you something, because I've gone to your house a few times, Miss Shea Marie, and you're just, the house always so clean and, you know, always so nice. It smells good. So for you to say that, you know, everything was a mess, it kind of brought me thoughts too, because when I was in that depressing mood, I didn't want to do nothing but sleep. Why is it that, you guys ever thought about, why is it that they give you these pills, all these drugs?
Yeah.
Why do they prescribe? Yes.
With yourself.
So you won't be in battle and thinking. Exactly.
To your mind.
And it doesn't fix it.
Calms your mind down.
Yeah, it
but,
doesn't.
Yeah, you still have.
It's just calming you down.
And I'm happy that you didn't take the medication, because you would have probably been addicted to it. It's hard to whine off of those things.
And then I had a newborn baby,
Right.
so I can't take those medications
Right.
anyway. I have to be alert for
Exactly.
my child. But I wanted to ask you three, because you all went through similar situations. So, you know, when you're in this relationship that ends badly and then it causes depression, do you recommend, you know, because what I noticed that a lot of women does is they will jump into another relationship right after. how do you feel about that? Like, there needs to be time for self-care and to build yourself up, because like you said, if you're in a toxic relationship for so long, you start to not realize your worth and your value.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I need that time, honestly. I need that time for myself to get back into, you're beautiful, you can do this, you can have anyone. Like, I have to talk to myself. Like, I need that time to myself. It's very important. I can't just jump into something else knowing that I'm still broken from the previous situation. How can I be a better woman for this next relationship if I'm still broken inside? Like, I can't deliver or, you know, show this person what the affection and, you know, everybody have needs. And I can't provide that if I'm going through something, because I'm still going to be thinking about the previous situation and I'm still going through this mental stage. Like, no, I definitely need time. What about you?
I think it's when you reach your breaking point, because some people cope with breakups or heartache differently. They feel like, oh, there's a saying, the quickest way to get over
For a man is to get underneath another one.
Yeah, and that's the wrong kind of thinking. I don't know who mama came up with that. No, for real.
Get you in trouble.
Right, because you bring, and that's how we have this these dysfunctional relationships, because they haven't unpacked their baggage.
Yes.
And they come with all these bags to the next relationship. You treating Bob like he Joe.
Yeah.
So I think I tried that, but it's the difference with me is I fall in love deep. Like it take me like 3 years to get over somebody, you guys.
Me too.
It's so bad. I think I broke up with my ex in 2014. I think last year was the final, and that was 2018. 4 years.
I'm the same way.
Child.
Girl,
It take me a while, but not that long.
how long it take you?
I say the longest it took me was maybe a year and a half.
I think because that person was
longest.
kind of still in my life. That's why too.
You gotta eliminate it.
Yeah,
That's why.
cut it off.
But I always wish I was like that. Like, in my mind, because I see Sierra, right? Sierra's situation. And I'm like, God, she got everything, but how she moved on so quickly? To me, I get
us.
scared just to
Right.
just think about getting in a full-fledged relationship. That scares me.
I think that once you've reached, I think we mentioned that in another show before. You can be in a relationship, and when you're in the relationship, mentally you checked out a long time ago. So I think, and I don't know if that's the case with Sierra, but she could have been with, you know, she was with Future, and we all know what Future was doing. It's no secret, right? So here she is, she's with this man. It's like, ugh, enough is enough. So mentally, she probably was already checked out. And another thing is, when God really sends you that true man who loves you, and she probably had her issues, but he loved her the way she needed to be loved, you can't help but the barriers break down. That love, because love overpowers any and everything.
Yeah, I don't think I've met that person.
And I honestly think she was already in transition while she was with Future, like transitioning into becoming that woman. Because sometimes, you know, when you're in transition, you still got that little inkling of the old you, and so she probably was still attracted to that kind of guy. So that's why she got with Future, because Future even mentioned the reason what made her so different is because she prayed for him. And he never had that. So it was probably already in her, and then the fact that it didn't work out, it was so quick for her to get her mind right, because she was already in transition. I'm pretty sure most of you have either seen or heard about Kanye West's Sunday service extravaganza, where he puts on what it seems to be a concert dressed up as a worship service, outside with people dressed in old rags, instruments, drums, and voices that call on glory. But he couldn't stop there. Recently, news broke that Mr. West himself will be starting his own church. Would any of you ladies join Kanye West's church? What are your thoughts?
So, I would not join anything that has anything to do with Kanye West. And first of all, that's idolatry, right? Worshiping idols. However, in this day and age, a lot of people worship celebrities, and it's very sad. and they get led astray. And Kanye West is not in the right mind state anyway to be a leader for anybody.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, it's like the blind leading the blind. So, and I was gonna try to close this opinion with something good. I was gonna say, I was thinking like, well, you know, at least he got good music, but he don't, not anymore. So that's my opinion.
Well, he lost me after he said that slavery was a choice. Okay? Another thing that lost me is he's mental. We all know that he's mental. He's been through, you know, treatment, whatever. And if you don't have a pastoral degree, I'm not going nothing you got going on. No church service, nothing. Because I feel like, I mean, what is he? First of all, do they have a religion? What is it?
He's Christian, and so yeah.
No, thank you, Kanye. You know, nice effort, but he needs to get his mental together. Maybe take a couple of pastoral classes so that he can, you know, learn how to lead. No, he lost me with the slave thing. If you feel that slaves had a choice, I'm not. First of all, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I definitely pay attention, and he's definitely not no one I would pay attention to or waste my time. So.
Well, y'all know I'm not going to his church. First and foremost. And it says, I'm not Kanye West, Kim Kardashian was asked, does she back him on the church? And she was like, yeah. But of course, and I just feel like when you marry, I don't want to say the wrong person, but when you marry somebody like that, like you said, you're worshiping idols. Yes, it's known that the Kardashians are Christian. Yeah, their father was a real. So if you watch the Kardashians from way back when, every time they would lie or something or like want to swear, they'd be like Bible. Their dad was a real Christian. I don't know about their mother, but but their dad, that I know for sure. Armenians, they are, when you're from wherever that, Armenia? Yeah, that's a Christian-based country. But I just don't, I feel like it's a hobby. It feels good. It feels good to worship to him, but it's like, what is the music saying? Because yeah, I hear the drums and stuff, but I don't hear the word. Well, some of the words I hear, but it's just like, okay, where are you getting at? Yeah, you can worship, but who are you worshiping? Yeah, you say you Christian, but what are you saying? I just don't know. Like, and you so quick to make a church, but it's just, if Trump can become president, he don't have any political background. Why can't he create it? Why can't I make a church? And that's why he likes Trump so much, because he was able to do that. He was able to do something that people said he couldn't do. And that's what Kanye West based his whole career off of, doing things out of the norm. That's why he made Jesus Walks, because yeah, they don't play those songs on 99 Jams or 103.5 The Beat, but they were playing it when he made the song. So he did something that was out of the norm, and that's what he's doing now. I wouldn't go to his church. Maybe his fans will go to his church just to feel good. That's gonna fill your flesh, but it ain't gonna feed you spiritually. Because what are you gonna tell me? I don't know what you know, because you're dealing with something mental. If you're not stable in your own mind, how could you preach to somebody? You need to go under a pastor at first. You need to join a church or something, or join some kind of, cleanse yourself. I don't know. I think he's still trying to find himself, and I think he's kind of lost right now, because dealing with being in Calabasas and being a part of the Kardashians, even though your name is big, but you joined up forces with a bigger name too. And it's just like, I think he lost his identity. He's torn in between being who he is and trying to fit into this lifestyle.
Yeah. All right, so I am 50-50 on this. I'm not 50-50 on this. I would never go to his church. That's one. But listen, I'm 50-50 in this sense. You know, why can't he? If that's what he want to do, if this is going to bring peace to him, let him do it. Let him sing. Let him beat the drums. Let him do this. If this is his way of worshiping, let him worship. If he's bringing more people to come to worship, I don't know what God they're speaking to, but
I thought they were worshiping him.
I was under the impression that they were just worshiping. They
In
were
general.
just in general. So
Okay.
if that's the case, hey, you never know. You know, I don't think that a pastoral degree indicates that you're, oh gosh, how can I say this? You're called by God, because there's a lot of people who are who have doctorates, and these are the same people sometimes who killing themselves. They're battling in their minds. They're crazy. You understand what I mean? So we can't knock him because we're able to see his shortcomings on Front Street. You understand what I mean? Because these same people are going through things that we don't know about. Just recently, I was watching the news. There's oh gosh, what is this guy's name? He's a white preacher who has a mega church. I can't remember.
Joel Osteen?
It wasn't Joel Osteen. Older guy. And oh gosh, I'm so mad that I can't remember his name. Long story short, he has he just recently bought a private jet. He was he had a regular plane, and he upgraded his Boeing, whatever, and now it's like a $52 million jet. So a round trip to go to certain places, let's say if he went on American Airlines, it would have cost $180. This is the news putting all of this out there. It would have cost $180, but his jet is like $40,000 round trip to go to these places. And they're interviewing, they try to interview him during a book signing that he has. And they said, are you using the church money to buy this plane? And da-da-da-da. So he's on the, God forgive me. During the interview, he's like, I had to buy it. He was giving me a good deal. And it's like, you could see this, but it's like he was crazy. So I say that to say this. If he can have a mega church, we don't know if he's in his mind battling whatever.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it just all depends on what is Kanye doing. Because keep in mind, how about if Kanye is bringing people, if they are actually worshiping to God, there's not a God, let's say to God, the mighty God we serve, and he's bringing people from the outside and giving them an open mind to it. It's a beautiful thing, but we don't know to the depths of what he's providing to these people. I personally wouldn't go to Kanye, and that's just that's my beliefs. I just wouldn't go to him just because I know personally, I'm not going to say personally, it's without a shadow of a doubt, we all know that. We were just talking about mental illness. We know that he's going through a mental problem himself. But God calls on the uncalled, unqualified. So how about if this is God's way of speaking to Kanye West to do this? You understand?
But what if it's not God? Because
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Like for me, I don't know if y'all follow this or, entertain it, but there's deeper workings in Hollywood, in the entertainment industry, like the Illuminati, and y'all don't think that has something to do with it?
I agree. I don't really too much feed into Illuminati because something that's so secret, that's supposed to be so secretive, everybody knows about it. Everybody know who's in it. I just feel like, yes, there's a big entity, but I don't think it's called the Illuminati.
Okay, but
Yes,
there's
yes,
something
I do believe that.
I feel there's something because
course.
for all these so-called celebrities who are Christians that don't display not one Christian characteristic, how is that?
But it's just to say, like, you know how you probably went to church, but then you like living your life. And you don't practice it, but I believe, but that doesn't mean I'm going to practice my beliefs.
Okay.
Yeah, like you probably still doing what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm not perfect
Yeah.
at all. So I wouldn't be the poster child for what a Christian should be. But you can see in my walk, in my life, and interacting with me and how I carry myself that, yes, I'm following Christ in some form. Sometimes I don't see that with the celebrities like Kim Kardashian.
Well, I don't think we can
First of all, you can't determine the person's relationship with God.
Yeah.
So I'm not so quick to judge people characteristics. Like, you know what you have with God, I can't judge you. As long as you know you're comfortable where you stand, God bless you. But I can't determine that.
Do you think that as a Christian there should be some type of evidence?
What?
Or no?
Clear evidence.
But keep in mind, you guys, we're getting snippets of these people's
Yeah.
lives.
Right.
We don't understand.
Okay, but if people are only getting snippets of your life, then you should be more particular about what you put out there.
Well, that's
That's
the
like-
determination to the person, though. I can be right because I can give you snippets of me being this fun just like on IG. IG never now I take that back. Social media, the majority, I'll say this, the majority of posts on social media is highlights of your highest moments, right?
Okay.
Right.
So, but you're not saying when you probably got punched in the eye, you
Yes.
got beat up, you going through this relationship, you crying, he not coming home, he cheating on you. You're not displaying those, but you're
Yeah.
displaying, oh, smile, vacay, like these are the things you're displaying. You understand what I mean? So I think it's the same thing. They're displaying what they want people to see. I think that at the end of the day, Kim Kardashian, let's just say an example, Kim Kardashian. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, Kim is no longer posting sexy, crazy pictures. Now she's posting about, I just helped another family. He received a life sentence and I just helped him get off death row. Because now she's going into Kim Kardashian, the attorney. You understand what I mean? So now all her post is based on helping people or trying to do because this is what she wants, the illusion of what she wants everybody to do.
I think her brand, the people, her PRs set that up as well.
There you go.
Because even when her husband was like, I don't like when she posts those kind of pictures, she wasn't respecting that. She was still posting those kind of pictures. My thing about Kanye West is like, you don't know what God, like we're all confused as to what God. Yeah, we know, well, it says that he's Christian, but we all like, well, whatever God, like we're all confused or like not sure of what God is he serving, what is he worshiping. And that's the problem for me. Because I need to know, like, because even in the songs, it's like, I think first of all, the people performing it like slaves. That's why I was like, is this a joke? Because they had on old rags and they black people and beating on drugs because that's where the slaves used to do.
Yeah, that's
So that's why I'm like, is he
worshiping.
mocking what the statement he made? Because it's just,
Crazy.
I don't want to say
They
nothing
probably
he does is.
worshiping the sun and the moon and all of that.
So that's the thing, it's
That's
not
where the
clear.
confusion lies.
Yes.
But I get what you're saying. If you're truly walking within the Lord, it shows on certain people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all about your walk with God.
You know, in the Bible it says you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. So that's how I look at the situation.
All right, sippers, we'd love to keep this tea spilling, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. But you can keep the conversation going by leaving your comments below at Cocktails and Conversations on our Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media. See you Friday night at 8 p.m. for Cocktails and Conversations with your girls.
Good night. You know
How do you
what?
guys feel about it?